All right. Well, despite a legendary discography and seemingly always being highly regarded, one singer decided to drop a surprise R&B house style album, and make no mistake about it, everyone and their mother questioning whether Drake is good is back. It was funny. What we had the memes making fun of it. I wasn't going to listen when it came out on midnight, right? Surprise. Hey, he's dropping his 8th studio album. I kind of went back. I'm like, all right, yeah, these are bangers. He always does this, where people were shitting on it from first thoughts. What was your guys' overall reaction from Drake's latest?
I only gave it a listen through once, and to me, it sounded like he was like trying to recreate like the song like Passion Fruit, if you remember that song from his More Life albums.
But he always does like this sort of like he switches it up. He throws up. He teased us too with Jimmy Cooks. He teased the rap crowd. But then he always likes to show that, I like the weekend vibes I saw make the rounds. He just kind of he got down with it a little bit.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan, but go ahead.
I thought it sucked, but I guess one song off. What is that album that Marvin's Room is on? And
Take Care.
Yeah. What's that song? The song with The Weeknd, Crew Love or whatever.
Yeah.
It sounds like that, but I like Crew Love. I didn't like any of those other songs really.
Well, that's what's funny is it's like is it growing on us? Like immediately people were like, all right, this is this is terrible. You've got the memes where it's like Chris Paul hits a crucial 3 and the team's down 42 points. That's Jimmy Cooks to this album. But then you've got the memes where it's like a week passes and it's like, you can't listen to this new Drake album if you don't have a passport, or it's like, or if you're not a hot Miami girl. All of a sudden Drake's album is back. It only took a week.
No, I think like always when there's like a strong initial reaction some way, like a few days later, people will try and be different and be like, oh, well, actually, if you had a complex music taste, you would like this. And it's just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
There's the key point, what you just said, people like to be different. That could be the whole reason why a lot of people like first hot takes are, oh, it's Drake, I hate it.
And people, and I haven't gone back to it, like I feel like maybe if I went back to it instead of just the one song, maybe 2, when I was going through Twitter and the first thing I saw was like, no way this dude said falling back on me 350 times in a row. And I was like, oh my God, what am I about to get into? And that was the first song. And I was like, can I really do this?
Well, I hate people who act like they hate Drake because he's mainstream. And
I fucking love with Drake.
I love Drake. I'm the first one to tell you that, but I thought it sucked.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan, and again, I kind of push it to the side going with that theory where it's like, I know he's going to still come out with more sauce, not everyone puts out constant shit, but he's as close as we got to, dropping certified bangers after one another.
Yeah, well, dude needs to quit being a bitch and put out another What a Time to Be Alive.
Yes, correct.
That's my favorite.
Well, speaking of bad ideas, we were talking about the MLB and Off-White collab, which Brendan had to ask and do a double take if that was real. But Alex, if you could possibly pull that up. One of the more out there things, MLB and Off-White coming out. I don't know what, like, are the players wearing these for a game? But it's the crater meteor holes for thousands of dollars. And I got to say, it's kind of gas.
So we did confirm it's real.
I'm pretty sure like that was a credible MLB reporter, June Lee, who put it like, he was basically reporting MLB Off-White. First of all, it's like, this is the newbie in me, the noob. I didn't realize Off-White was a brand. I thought it was like they were kind of talking. I see, like it's a high end brand. And look at that hat; it goes hard.
So hold on, is is like this I was trying to Google it before, but is this like the confirmed stuff you guys seen? Like, this
Yeah,
is
I mean, that's what was making the rounds. I mean, this guy looks like a mannequin. He does not look happy to be there wearing this.
That's dope though. I like that. That's cool.
There's no way that the players are going to wear that though. Like the MLB is not, I guess, what's the word, like aggressive enough. Like,
well, you know what? Maybe it was New Era. Maybe that's where I have it wrong. Where New Era makes the uniforms and the hats, and it's like, oh, okay, this is something you could buy in a store.
I see.
Okay. Yeah, well, maybe it's like, aren't there like Yankee hats with like a Supreme patch on it, or am I way off?
No, yeah, I think they've done collabs like that. What's funny is remember there was the thing where Chris Sale, right? But he was so pissed that because all these people change uniforms all the time. And he was so pissed that they had like a fucking, Star Wars night uniform that he like freaked out and cut everyone's uniforms with scissors. And then like all he needed was the MLB off white. Goddamn. I don't know about the price tag, but to our kind of theme of the starting of this episode, it's different. That would be like you would turn some heads wearing that. I would totally rep that to a bar. I mean,
if it 100%. If it's like literally $1,000 or something for this, yeah, dumb. Like,
I think that jersey.
I'm also the guy who snowboards in a Supreme jacket. So,
Dylan, I was just gonna say, speaking of baseball, I went to Fenway for the first time this past weekend.
Yeah, Beantown. How was that? You saw the Cardinals in town.
Have you been before?
Yeah, as a kid, Fenway Frank, I still remember vividly. Fantastic.
Dude, I think it's kind of life-changing for real at this age. I think
the Frank or going to Fenway.
Going to Fenway.
Really?
Yeah, if you appreciate baseball and baseball history, it's pretty fucking insane.
Do you feel that way with Wrigley? I think Wrigley's a dump, but I think that's kind of my Cardinal bias. Yeah.
So Fenway is incredibly clean.
Yeah.
Like compared to Wrigley, and like, I mean, it's the oldest stadium in baseball, and like my dad's a diehard Cubs fan, and he was like, "This is cooler than Wrigley." He like whispered to me, but like,
yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. It's so different than any stadium you've ever seen. And I don't know. There's just so much shit going on. And they like sing Sweet Caroline after each 8th inning, which is electric. And Neil Diamond was there Saturday night
no
Sweet
way.
Caroline. But
that is life-changing.
But he's got some mental issues now that like he didn't really know the words. It's kind of sad.
He was like Muhammad Ali, like out there at the end.
He does have Parkinson's, so yeah.
Okay.
He is like,
yeah, and like they always get a good crowd, like Busch, Yankee Stadium. Like you can catch any game and it's gonna be a good crowd.
Yeah.
Jack, you picked a good time to get off the Juul. What is happening? Are people fucking panicking as it comes out? Well, we saw it. We've talked about it over the last month or so. Menthol cigarettes already on their way out. FDA is trying to strike them down. Then it was this week, I wrote down cigs are getting less nicotine now. Like the FDA was going after regular cigarettes. And now today, Juul could be off the shelves in the U.S. as soon as today. And people got to be fucking bum rushing. Those people like filling up the beds of their truck with gasoline. They're going to be doing that with Juul pods.
Packing Juuls.
Yeah.
My thing with that is like when I drink, I vape, but Juul is like my least favorite one. Like there's so many after Juul got popular, there's so many other brands now.
White Claw.
Like you can easily find a replacement. I mean, Juul is the only one that I think they're actually banning.
Interesting. So like they just kind of I don't know, so many made it better and probably more safe for the customer that Juul kind of got boxed out.
Well, our very own piece of shit, Christian Verde, is freaking out. He was freaking out earlier today. He's a massive Juul guy.
We're gonna have to get a live interview there.
You guys remember when they took away the mango pods?
Yeah, that was detrimental for me.
That was the initial vape scare that kind of got me off of it, even for like the pot cartridges.
Literally nothing will ever beat that in my book. Also, I have to disagree with what Brandon said. The other shit tastes better, but nothing will ever do what the Juul does, in my opinion.
But is that just like an oral fixation, like something you associate with like
a status symbol?
I just mean the fucking buzz.
I think it buzzes me the least.
Really? Yeah.
Agreed,
I think it looks the slickest.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. You've got like the fat USB or like, the cloud buffer. Those are always good ones.
I love when someone like that I don't really know or a new circle, they whip it out. Just
Yeah, it's like in their hand, it looks like a thing of Danimals. It's like, yeah, I know.
Looks like a fucking roadside bomb.
A grenade, yeah.
They're just like
Well, so are cigs even going to be good anymore with lesser nicotine? Like they're really like going at. You used to be able to rip heaters on a commercial flight, and now look where we are.
This is gonna just cause more stupid lobbying, wasted time in Congress of, well, they should lower the price since it's not hits as hard as they're raising the price of tobacco across the country and stuff.
It's we want to talk to on core trades, I think this coming week, a crypto bear, a little bounce this weekend though, and we might be hitting a key level. But could you imagine? I just thought about it because it's like SIGs were like that was probably the can't miss company of the stock market growing up, like Marlboro, where everyone literally it's a culture. And then could you imagine the day where it's like, oh my God, like the stock's crashing because all of a sudden they're getting excommunicated?
Yeah.
Marlboro is huge. They were big in F1 racing sponsorships and everything, like worldwide too.
Oh no, they were huge in Mad Men. Just owned kind of Fifth Ave advertising and whatnot. All right, let's knock out some politics. Julian Assange to be extradited to the U.S. Kind of slipped.
About Britney.
Yeah, Brittany. Yep, Brittany is not home yet, but we're gonna get Assange here on trial. Apparently,
where is Julian at? He's Australian.
Was
he?
Oh
no, never. Sorry.
I think he was in London or in the UK.
Who is this? Who's Julian?
He is the guy who started WikiLeaks.
Assange got in charge of he created WikiLeaks, which was basically leaking classified documents detailing war crimes. It
was wild. He had a guy that dropped him 33,000 documents, like PDFs, whether they be one document, like 1 page long or 60 pages long of classified information. And he said he's got like 5 more terabytes that he can just keep dropping them over years. So basically WikiLeaks was birthed.
And they were incriminating the US. So he had to leave. He felt like compulsed to, get this information out, and now he's hunted by his own government.
And you said you were just chilling
UK.
in London?
Yeah, UK. And
why wouldn't you go somewhere non-extraditable?
It didn't stop with the US. One of the biggest exposures he had was in Australia. And it actually caused one of the largest riots across damaging riots across a city or considerable government. I think, I could be proven wrong on that. Don't quote me, but so I think he's pretty well disliked across the world.
He's hopped around. Yeah. He's had to, and I think he felt safe in UK, and it was some sweeping decision where it's no, we're actually going to send you back. We're gonna. I
think he was low key. There's a Netflix or HBO something I watched on it, and it was really good. I'd watch it if I were you. And
is Snowden still? Is he kind of like Assange? Is he still out there?
He's still chilling in Moscow. He's
a Russian citizen, I think, right?
Oh, okay.
He just has a lifetime visa or something. Putin talks with him.
Yeah, he's very well liked by other communities.
Interesting. Well, here's a guy that is slowly getting less liked. Joe Biden falls off his bike. What happened there? I mean, this guy can't catch a break. That was pathetic.
Dude, it'd be one thing if he was pedaling, but he was stopped.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't break his hip or something.
Right, that shit puts people of his age in the hospital.
When old people fall, it's not good.
I was expecting, because all I saw originally was the arm stick out, and I was like, this guy's coming up with a broken wrist, something for sure.
Yeah, I saw the crowd, and then I saw the showers literally right in front, and he just literally just eats shit. Yeah, can we get a president with the age where we're not feverishly worried that he fell off a bike and broke a bone, or just looks like a wimp?
He probably forgot what he was fucking doing and just lost balance.
I'd be taking his license, like good Lord.
I mean, and then the whole, everyone wants to jump on the whole like excuse of the bike pedal or the cleats that stick in, which I don't know if Joe Biden like rides bikes often, but if he doesn't, that's a common mistake. I've done that and gotten myself stuck. I don't.
But he can't do that. He just can't do it.
He's a geriatric bag. He needs training wheels.
Well, he does need training wheels. Well, that's one side of the aisle. Here's the other. The Texas GOP has motioned for a referendum on whether or not they should secede from the United States.
Let's go.
What are we?
I feel like they've been trying to do this forever.
Y'all are about to be a couple of Confederates cutting it up.
Yeah. I mean,
well, not let's go for that, but I mean,
yeah.
But I feel like that Texas has always said this, that, like we want to be our own nation. We're the Lone Star state. We do our own thing, but it just never fucking happens.
Right. I guess now in social media, it's just like everyone's just like, what? What would happen? Like I saw kind of the hypothetical of the sports teams would get stripped from them. Like, we're sanctioning Russia. Imagine. And then, like what Mexico invades Texas.
I wonder who the ruler of Texas would be if that were to happen.
George.
Well, who's the governor?
Greg Abbott.
Yeah, it'd be Teddy. Ted would head to Mexico. It'd be Jerry Jones probably. He'd be a good leader. All right, so that knocks out politics. I sent you guys the video of Ian's kickball air, Brendan, that had you pretty weak. That was, it's so weird to me. Ian like can play tennis and beat me in tennis. He's an all right golfer, and that he just has an uncoordination about him, and he dropped probably a 4-foot pop up in kickball.
Yeah, that was brutal. Also, I mean, the way you captured it had me pretty weak.
Yeah, like my mom just sent it to my my family group text, and she's just like, "I knew you would love it," and I was just,
who's filming? That was my question.
That was my mom. Like they were there, like for Father's Day weekend, just taking in the kickball game, and like apparently he made some nice plays, but she just had to send me that one. Maybe we'll tweet it out for comedy. Well, you got to get him back on there to talk. He will have to kind of back up his kickball air and the worst decade of forest fires in history. Dude, I'm getting worried of like you escaped that in Denver, Alex, but like, is that going to creep into Missouri? Up here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, in Boulder, remember that Boulder fire that like 1,000 homes were lost? Mm-hmm. There was 3 more fires, I want to say, in Boulder since that fire. Luckily, they were all either maintainable or out in the desert area. But the weirdest thing is like same thing is right now the whole flooding in up in the Northwest. That's hitting records too. I'm in the same boat. I don't know if it's going to, but dude, it is kind of concerning watching the natural disasters low key exponentially grow.
Yeah, no, I mean, and on both ends of the pole, the waters, the fires. It was 100 degrees in Minneapolis the other day, and my mom was just kind of like, "How that's crazy! How it can go from 10 below to like 100, in the span of a season." But I do love the summers out here. Jack, I finished Sons of Anarchy. Are you on your way?
Season 6, episode 2.
It was great. 8 out of 10. 2 seasons too long. The last season, once you get to it, is literally just kill everyone, gore everywhere, and then it's just one long. How you kind of notice that they end every episode with like a song. It's almost like the Batman song, like the big theatrical ending.
Yeah, dude. Even the first episode of season 6, there was some shit in there where I was like, "Holy fuck, dude!
Yeah,
I don't know if I want to watch this." Like with Otto and in prison, like when I
know it's a gruesome show, and it's from that decade, the early 2010s, where it was like they got caught in between, where it was like if you were really popular you kept getting extended for seasons, but now it's like you kind of want to get in and out to be a great show in like 3 or 4. I feel like
the first couple were dope though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can definitely see that already just with what I've seen.
It just dragged on. It's always Clay. How are we going to respond appropriately? Everyone's just all about fucking retaliation. All right, before we get to the tea with Jack D and some selections as well, I'm texting with Joey and Christian all day, kind of just like working through stuff for like posting and schedule and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, it's notification from Joey. Great. It's a separate text about 2 hours later, 9:30 p.m. Bro, Stevie Wonder is not blind. So we might have to do some looking into this. He told me to look it up on YouTube. Joey was almost a guest appearance, but more topics to come potentially from Joey in a guest appearance in the future. Like Stevie Wonder is apparently not blind.
I haven't heard it before.
Really? Yeah. Apparently, where he's like looking at the microphone as like he's on stage.
There's times that he like steps over wires that like a blind person wouldn't normally while getting on stage, and it's like, okay, maybe they rehearsed that the night or two before, but still, it's like he's too aware.
Well, my question would be why? Why would he go through this?
Dude, that would suck ass.
Why wouldn't he?
Blind
why wouldn't he?
Part of his act, yeah. I mean, that's how he sells the ticket.
Got him famous quicker potentially. Just
I mean,
like, oh, look at this guy, he's blind, and look at how good he is at music.
Nonetheless, let's not avoid the topic of like a black artist at that time and everything.
Like it kind of gave like people, it almost gave up people a way to like him, back during that era.
Dude, Ray Charles walked so Stevie Wonder could run. Come on.
Right.
He's the OG.
Stevie. Right. We'll have to look into that. All right, tea with Jack D, back from Beantown here. Let's get caught up.
All right. Let's see what we got today. There was a shootout in Mexico with the cartel.
Mm-hmm.
Cartel now has monkeys fighting, and this monkey had a bulletproof vest on and died in the shootout. So imagine a fucking monkey running around like, I don't know if it had a gun or what, but it literally had on a diaper and a bulletproof vest.
Yeah, I've got it with like a cigarette.
Diaper for?
I don't know. Just mobbing with the cartel.
Yeah, the diaper was necessary. That's what I have it like.
Says it had a camouflage jacket on too. He was mobbing around.
Dude, what the fuck?
Haven't you heard that rumor though, where it was like the Navy was trying to weaponize dolphins or train dolphins to like I don't know if you could train some animals.
The Russians were pretty successful at that.
Right? Yeah, Planet of the Apes, Planet of the Dolphins.
Bill Cosby is back in court, found guilty again for sexually assaulting a 16-year-old girl in 1975 at the Playboy Mansion. He was under the impression she was 18. I don't really know
but can he be prosecuted, or is this another one of those double jeopardy?
He has to pay her $500K. I mean, the dude's already fucking in jail, and
I've been waiting to hear more about stuff coming out of the Playboy Mansion, because everything that's kind of amounted that I've learned about, it's like, man, there probably was some really messed up stuff that happened.
That and Epstein's Island.
Yeah, for sure. Elon's Twitter acquisition has officially been approved. So
what's the steps there? Like he's still floating out this bot thing that's holding it up. But I saw he basically met with a bunch of the people, I think everyone from the company, to kind of answer questions, which I thought was kind of a stand-up job.
I guess this step was that the board of directors of Twitter all finally agreed to approve it. So I don't know if the bot thing is still, it says they approved it and they said it's in the stockholders' best interests to like let it go through. So,
well, after he brought up the bot thing, did it not tank along with the rest of the market a little bit? So I'm sure the board is like, well, what's best for stockholders now is
they want to definitely get that deal done. Elon's trying to wiggle his way out of it, but that's binded.
And also Elon Musk, I also didn't know how many kids he had. I knew he had a couple, but Elon Musk's daughter 18-year-old transgender daughter legally changes her name and says that, so is a boy turning a girl, and says that she has no relation or affiliation with Elon Musk anymore. She's done with him.
Yeah, I saw that was crazy. I didn't know she was transgender.
What do you
How
think
about
Family
him
Dinner is
outright
like there?
saying he basically endorsed DeSantis for president on his own platform, like Twitter, which was interesting. Now it's like Elon, we got like, isn't Twitter kind of a truth social now? But for like Elon, like that's what it is. They're running their own social media thing. I guess that was the same for Jack Dorsey too, technically, and Zuckerberg. I just watched Zuckerberg on Mad Money tonight. Really interesting what he was talking about the metaverse, but conversation for another time.
Really?
I don't know who would pay this, but there's a $110,000 trip now to Disney that Disney's offering, where you get to take a private jet on a 24-day trip to all everything Disney related around the world.
Disneyland and Disney Worlds are there.
So there's 12 Disney parks around the world.
There's like Shanghai, like California and Florida, obviously, but then there's a bunch globally.
And then you also will get to visit just on the way there. They'll take you to the pyramids of Giza, the Eiffel Tower, the Taj Mahal.
I mean, I love a good private flight. So, I mean, that sounds fucking awesome. I mean, that alone, I would do that sans the Disney parks, which leads me to my question. Like, where are you guys at on Disney? Like, are we going to take our kids there? Like, I guess I went as a kid and I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I would be like, I don't know, super pumped to go to Six Flags as an adult.
I used to have a season pass there when I lived in Orlando.
Yeah, that's right.
That was sick. Like compared to like Six Flags was so cool, but after I lived in Florida first, and I was like,
I think Disney World is definitely a way step up from Six Flags. I feel like I'll definitely be taking my kids there.
But that's like a trip.
I would have fun if I went to Disney World myself right now.
And then once they're like old enough, go to Universal. Hit some of the better roller coasters.
And I guess they have that thing Epcot, or they have like that around the world drinking challenge now too. It's like, so they have stuff for adults.
Yeah, for sure.
They have a lot of stuff for adults, low key. But it comes with a price. But I'm all for it. I agree with Brennan. Like Darian took a trip recently during COVID, and she said it was the best thing she did because there was like no lines and they restricted the park access and stuff. And she said the worst thing was you just had to wear a mask, which everyone was doing at the time. And so I want to go back before I have kids, and then I want to go with my kids.
Yeah, that was what was cool about living there. Like when on like a random weekday, like your parents would let you like skip school and it's just completely empty. Like it was sweet. We already went over Biden falling off his bike. I don't really understand how any of this works, but apparently Biden's saying there's going to be a gas tax that's going to lower gas prices by about 18 cents per gallon.
I saw 8 straight days of declining average gas prices. So hopefully we hit our peak.
That's what I've been seeing that too across the state.
I was like, I'm just getting stabbed every time I go to the gas pump nowadays. And it's just like, I kind of just threw it out. I was like, to my mom, I was like, I want to just get an electric car. And she laughed me off the phone. She wasn't, I was like, I was thinking like, wouldn't that be smart if we're all going electric? Like, I mean, it would take a while to kind of pay itself off for gas, but if we're all going to be there in 25 years, why not just get it started now?
Why wasn't she a fan? I feel like that's something she'd be a fan.
She's like, we're in a recession. She's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, it's like you haven't.
I drive 87 miles every day and each way, I guess. And
each way?
Holy shit.
And my dad and I had that whole conversation basically before the market's where it's at today. And the other day I brought it up and he just goes, same thing. He's like, what are you doing? He's like, this is not the time to go buy it.
Yeah, spending's great.
Dude, speaking of that, my Uber driver in Boston was telling me that like literally like 3 weeks ago, since gas is so much and like people don't want to do the long rides anymore because Uber doesn't pay a lot. Uber came out with an update 3 weeks ago where now they don't show the drivers how far they are until they accept it. And this dude was heated. He missed the turn to my hotel. It's like 2 a.m. I'm like, dude, oh my God. Like, come on. Show me how they do like scam him. He had 2 phones up with 2 of the Uber like things.
Yeah.
And it would say where the surge zone was. And then he's like, you drive there and it completely turns off. And then he's like, look at my other phone.
It's
no. He's like, well, yeah. He's like, it's there on this one, but on this one, there's no surge zone. He's like, they literally just pop it up, and then you get there and there's no surge.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, my hotel's back there. Like, I get it. Like, come on.
Those guys trying to vent to you about his job.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Here's a tip. Okay, this isn't a huge deal, but after 85 years, Kraft Macaroni and Cheese is changing their name to Kraft Mac and Cheese. That's it. No macaroni, just mac and cheese.
Interesting. But yeah, that's land breaking stuff there. Groundbreaking.
Okay, we talked about the Jewel ban. And then earlier this month at an aircraft expo in Germany, I will not be flying on planes like this. You can kind of see it. They're debuting double-decker coach flights where like they're like sitting on top.
It's like a Chicago train.
Yeah, like can we fit any more people in there? Like
pack them in like sardines.
Yeah.
I was thinking like they've got those 2 like those huge ass planes where it's like the Soul plane or whatever. But yeah, these are literally put people on top.
I'm just imagining someone like flying off of the top deck during major turbulence.
Someone getting up for the restroom. Yeah, someone just getting up for the restroom and they hit a little bump and the dude just lands in the
fall down.
Lap.
Yeah.
Someone yaks over the side.
Like they're gonna like not to be in like rude or inconsiderate, but like people who have to buy like 2 seats on a plane and stuff, how are they gonna crawl up there?
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, when you buy it, you always accept terms and agreements, right? But then it's like, is in their terms written like
we could you
like,
could be a double decker. Yeah. They're gonna get that guy with 2 seats up there with a forklift.
Speaking of planes, we're praying our flights to Chicago do not get messed with at all, because there was 800 pilots striking in front of Dallas Love Field Airport the other day.
Didn't you have a nightmare scenario, Jack, with American?
I did with American. My flight only got delayed, but Kyle and Reese were flying from St. Louis to like go with me, and American canceled it and told them they were fucked. And American also doesn't, and they weren't going to make it to Boston. American also doesn't give refunds. They just give you a travel credit.
Right.
So the shuttle was shut to get to the Southwest terminal. So they Ubered to the Southwest terminal, said, put us on anything to the East Coast. She goes, I got one to DC in 10 minutes. They flew there and drove 11 hours to Boston and pulled up at the top of the 2nd inning to Fenway on Friday.
That 11 fucking hours.
It's like an 8-hour drive, but it was like Kyle said, it's the worst drive he's ever done in his life. He said there's so much accidents and traffic.
Jesus fuck.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare travel scenario.
Yeah. Last thing I saw was former Trump aide Jason Miller testified that Rudy Giuliani was definitely hammered when he was advising the Trump campaign on election night.
And then he came out the next day and goes, no, I was definitely drinking Diet Coke. It's my favorite. It's like what, you know you're lying.
Such a weirdo.
When you have to go with the extra step and tell us that Diet Coke is your favorite, why would you offer us that?
Yeah, and then for suggestions, I still just have Sons of Anarchy, and then I haven't watched it, but my next show I've decided is going to be The Boys.
You will love it. Holy fuck, It is great. Like nothing you've ever watched before.
Seriously.
On season 2 of I was going to say Sons. I'm on season 2 of Peaky Blinders. I'm running through it. You were so right. I literally skipped the first episode, and then it got so much better.
Dude, it's good.
The soundtrack is great. I love how each episode ends and begins. Dun, dun. Okay, a couple of birthdays we're celebrating this week. Verde this past weekend, CSE Entertainment, and our guy Alex Birdie Bursick today as we're recording.
Yep.
So I promise we will get to Bursic Babbles, but we ran out of time here as Jack's got to go. So we've got content for next week loaded up. We're not going to lose that, Alex. We want you to go enjoy your birthday. Water challenge thoughts. Let's get out of that. What'd you guys think, huh? If people thought I was made out of water. I don't know. I almost did I one up you, Jack? I didn't mean to.
Yeah, for sure. I fucked mine up.
Is this gonna be a challenge? Someone said do a beer challenge next.
I was gonna say, I think next one's got to be beer.
Apparently,
I think I would smoke that, but would that be too easy?
Apparently, there's something with Coors Light, Bud Light, and one of the other ones that it's a lot.
Like
Miller.
Yeah, like Mick Ultra. I would even throw in Mick Golden Light in there. I don't know. It would have to be like light beers, but I think I would just try and
replicate the soda thing. Try and grab 5 different cans of beer that are very common. So, like you said, those several main ones.
And I've still got that contraption, which Kelsey made. So it's money. Good stuff. All right. Appreciate it, fellas. We'll talk to you guys next week.